Nation. First off, you're in for a treat today. So this is one of those episodes where I recommend you listen to it twice back because there's going to be business advice here. There's going to be hobby advice. There's going to be kind of more, kind of big picture of this is how maybe the hobby's also changed and grown, because the gentleman that's sitting across from me, better looking gentleman than my co-host, honestly, this time, and knows a little bit more about the hobby, I feel, as well, which is, I'm excited. We're going to have a little collision of the minds here. This is someone who comes as respected as it gets. And, I don't watch a lot of content. The way I learn about people is what our audience says about the interactions that they have. So a large part of our audience is West Coast, LA, and they speak incredibly highly about Bullpen LA. And just the whole Bullpen brand and how good the interactions they've had. And I said, how are we 700 episodes in and we've never had Mitch and the Bullpen guys on? Because in a world of breakers, LCSs, the hobby, not to hear one bad word about business is very, very rare. So, Luca Nation, my audio is going to be a little different. I didn't bring my microphone and I'm traveling. By the way, my sister's graduation, a lot of you met her, so send her a DM. But if my audio is a little different, please bear with me. I'm not going to do a lot of talking. I'm going to do a lot of listening because I want to learn. But without further ado, Mitch Guttenberg, CEO, founder, extraordinaire of Bullpen.
I started my first shop in 2000. We've moved 5 times. I have the greatest partner, my best friend in the entire world, Ty. You guys not met her. She is my business partner. She is really one of the people that have really elevated us to a whole nother level. She came in with me in end of 2016, and we've taken on to a whole nother level. We now have, we open our 5th store in Soho, New York next week, which I will be there building. We have 4 in Los Angeles right now. The main store where I'm at right now that I'm most of the time here, we have about 33,000 boxes in stock at all times. And I'm here from 9 in the morning to about 1 a.m. every night, 365, 7 days a week. We do breaks. Our in-store purchases are incredible. And we just work.
9 to 1. But is there any place you'd rather be, Mitch?
No, God, no. I have to watch movies and talk about sports. And we have 2 cats in the store that I get to play and just get to hang out. Every day.
And if you guys don't know, I mean, what are you, like a stone's throw away from LAX, right? So
yeah,
if someone's flying into the airport, take it.
You can see our store.
You can go to the store. I hate flying. I flew today. It was just the worst experience. Do not fly budget. They don't even give you coffee, tea, or water anymore. But
he called me today. He's like, I flew from Florida to Philadelphia, and boy, are my arms tired. But
the point is, I would love an LCS 2 minutes away. I'd be like, Mom, come pick me up at the LCS. I'll buy a pack and kind of de-stress because flying is difficult. What was 2003, that's LeBron's rookie year. Why that year? Why did you decide
2000.
June 20th, 2000. And we've closed 2 days since we opened.
What were those 2 days?
My mom's funeral and my dad's funeral. Those are the only 2 days that we've ever closed. I'm truly a workaholic. I don't really take vacations. I work constantly. I love what I get to do.
And was this Buster, was this like a long time coming where you were a hobbyist and then you're like, I need to open a store. This is what I've always wanted to do. In 2000 was the right time?
Pretty much. I started doing card shows when I was 15 and then got away from it a little bit. And then there was an ad in a newspaper for a guy working a card shop in 1998. And I was like, a card store? How cool would that be? And then started working for it and then got sick of working for someone and opened my own store in June 2000 in Venice Beach. And have just been going since. And
I mean, it's interesting, right? Because it's an interesting time, right? 2000, everything was going great. You had, your .com, and then you had 9/11. And markets kind of took a tank, and it's an interesting time. A lot of people think that we're headed for similar markets. Markets kind of a little correction, a little recession and stuff, and yet you're expanding.
Yes.
Is that because you just have seen the hobby now for nearly 40 years and know that no matter what, like baseball, It's the cities of the world have been paved over, Ray, but baseball has stood the test of time.
Oh my God.
His cards too. You know what that's from, Mitch?
Yes, of course. Field of Dreams.
Yeah,
Of course.
it's my man right there. Field of Dreams.
If you ever want to do movie trivia, it's.
That's why Mitch loves our show.
So to give you a little funny, so Mike Fruitman, Mike Stadium Cards in Colorado, we do screenshots of movies that you've seen, and I have 4 different levels that I send to people. Like if I send you a screenshot of 4 movies, and it's the impossible level, there's only like 9 people that have ever seen some of these movies.
All right,
so you're never
I've got to get
on
on this. I got to get on this group
Oh my
chat.
God, it's Mike always puts it. Mike puts it as. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, go. Please. Sorry about that.
Mike will say like Mitch Guttenberg versus the world on movie trivia, and it gets really bad.
I love it. Yesterday, I was on the phone with Mark Zablo from Bleecker. He was having an event there last night. Can't wait to go to your store in Soho next week. I'm going to find out about the grand opening about that and crash
I'll be out there for it.
Nice. Well, I'm going to come hang out. We're going to do movie lines. And he's on the phone. He says, it's like the luck of the Irish, only I'm not Irish. And I'm like, and I sent him a screenshot of White Men Can't Jump because of Woody Harrelson when he was shooting. He's like, Sydney, look at this. I got 4 in a row. It's like the luck of the Irish, only I'm not Irish. So people speak in movie quotes, Andrew. It's just what people do.
Okay, just to let you know, Princess Bride is still the most quotable movie of all time.
Anybody want a peanut?
Liar!
All right, you're done. This is it.
Mitch, are you originally from LA?
Yes.
You're originally from LA.
Yeah,
I don't get that vibe from you. I get a New York East Coast vibe from you.
My parents are from New York. My dad was from New York. My mom was from Chicago, and they moved out. I've been in LA my entire life, but I am who I am. So I understand the New York vibe, but
you have a few stores. Is this New York one a little bit more special, like a little bit of like kind of homecoming for you?
A little bit. It was time. We've been in the West Coast. Everybody's like wanting to move another like 40 miles south of us, and we're like, no, let's go big. So we have a couple more coming out that I've got ideas for next year. I think I'll stop at 8 is my goal. By middle of next year, we have 8 stores, and then I'm done.
Froby's number. Stop at that number. No, Kobe is 8. Cage not 24.
Yeah.
So Mitch, you got 4 stores already going. You're playing as 8. How do you run them without losing the authenticity that is Bullpen that's in the Venice Beach store? Do you train the people? Do you install your own person? Like, how's that work?
It's a lot of work. I have the best team. I mean, we have 2 managers in LA with Ty and I running it, and then we just hired a guy from New York to come out and run Burbank. We have a store in Burbank now called Bullpen Burbank that simply high-end cards. Billy's great. He now is running Burbank. And the other ones, the hobbyist and Melrose, are just a couple really good kids, and one of them's moving to New York, and so we're opening there. They sit. I mean, I'm on the phone with them, with everybody, 18, 19 hours a day, every day, teaching, going over stuff, asking questions from distributors to manufacturers to other stores to find out what's good, what's bad. So I keep my pulse on all the time.
We've gotten as Andrew likes to call it, the origin story, right? You opened packs when you're 15 years old. You came in 1987, opened up, Topps cards and whatever else it is. You left, you came back in, you worked in a card store. Here's what I want to get out of the episode right there in the first 10 minutes. I hear that you're in it. I hear that you're in it for as long as you've been in it, and you don't take any breaks, and you love it. You love every minute of it. But I hear one thing more. I hear expanding. I hear that not only are you in it, but you are doubling down. You're expanding your footprint from 4 stores to 8 stores. You're expanding out of California into New York and probably some other locations. To me, that's maybe the most important thing that our audience can hear today, because we're in a weird crossroads of the hobby, I think, right? Where a lot of people came in, people are wondering what's going to happen. We're at almost like a potential fork in the road. People message me all the time. Should I leave? Should I go? We know other people who are also investing in the hobby, people who are becoming breakers, people who are, also opening stores. I think people would love to hear what your thought process is, maybe a little behind the scenes, like why would you choose to double down now when we might be facing, an interesting time ahead, not just from the hobby, but just overall economic macro picture.
It's easy. We decided to start expanding. I mean, there's great concern with everything in this industry with Fanatics coming in, Topps cutting distributors, which I did a podcast last week and said that, and everybody literally lost their mind. But Topps is cutting distributors. Panini still, Upper Deck is still hanging on with what they're doing. Again, I'm a giant hockey fan, so I just want to keep Upper Deck going. But here's where we are in this industry, and you'll get it.
Let's buy Upper Deck.
I would love to.
Yeah.
They're not for sale though. They won't be ever. They're not for sale at all.
You know, they own the Fleer brand, man.
Yep, and most of Marvel.
Yeah, Marvel.
Marvel.
Yeah, the Marvel. So all the PMGs, that's all them.
Yep. But here's where we are in the industry. I use this analogy all the time in the store. Thanksgiving dinner, you've eaten 14 pounds of turkey at 6 o'clock and you can't move. Yeah. You're sitting in your chair and you're like, and just trying to get any breath. That's where we are right now. We're at the full capacity. I don't think we can go much bigger than we are now. And all of a sudden, 7 o'clock rolls, we start digesting everything. Everything comes down to a level that is more consistent. The GOAT cards are always going to be, they're not coming down. They're going to be right there. But all the other stuff, that the second year stuff, some Prism stuff that's been made over and over and over and over, that's going to settle down to a reasonable price. Again, settling down our stomach. Wait a second, it's 9 o'clock. I can move again. Let me go get another cup of brandy and let's go eat a little bit more. And that's where we are. That's what's coming over the next year or so.
I love this man. Because I love the baseball analogy. People say, what inning are we in, right? Because I love baseball. But there is one thing I love more than baseball. It's eating until I'm full, like to a point of like I can't eat anymore. And he has changed the hobby analogy from what inning we're in to Thanksgiving. I get to watch football, which is kind of better than baseball a little bit, and I get to eat until I'm stuffed. This is the new best hobby analogy ever. Thank you, Mitch.
Of course.
Mitch. Off the record, but kind of on the
record. Off the record with every thousands of people who are
off the record. I don't know what that is.
A ton of changes, right?
Yes.
I mean, if we talk grading, PSA's the juggernaut. Beckett just appointed a new CEO. SGC, are they in second? Then Fanatics comes in. eBay's now doing vaulting and authenticity. Everyone has a vault. I mean, there's so much going on over the last 2 years. Like if we go maybe COVID, right? Maybe a little. Are you happy with the changes? Are you agnostic?
Boy.
And
here we go.
Feel free to answer this two ways, because what does that mean? Happy? Is it Mitch the collector happy? Is Mitch the business owner happy? Is Mitch the breaker happy? You could also wear different hats for that answer.
Okay. First, as a collector, my only collection is high-end sports wax. If you come out to the store, there is one display case. It's
I hear
crazy.
BC is great at verifying Pokemon cases, so
no comment on that one. But I mean, again, and we'll sell. 1213 Prism, 14, 0304 Exquisite, 2009 Topps update or Bowmen update.
Yep.
I mean, there's in this one display case, there's at any one time there's $1.5 million in inventory just in this one display case of box. If we sell a box, I go nuts. I'm like, great, I got to go find another box.
So we are kindred spirits, because that is what I've been talking about the last 3 months, and how those cases are not only is the content inside of it going down in supply, it's deflationary. But you also have the marketing and the attention that comes when you rip that wax. So we really are kindred spirits. I apologize.
Oh God, I've got a 2000 SP Authentic case sitting in the display case. I have a 96 for you. There's a 96, 97 Flair Z Force case in my display case.
Nice.
So
that's nice
for all your Ray Allen and Iverson fans.
51. Would you rather have 51 Bowmen or 52 Topps? Topps, right?
52 Topps. 52 Topps is but it's still 51 Bowmen would be the rookie card. But 52 Topps is still the better card. But from a business standpoint, going back to business wise, the industry's not going anywhere. There's too much money in it. Topps luckily will stay in charge of running for the Fanatics. Again, I've talked to the Fanatics. I know pretty much everybody from the Fanatics people. I get along with all of them. They're really good guys. They just need a little bit. They're money guys. They just don't know. They need to learn more about sports cards because this industry is not a plug in and play. It's not. I've got this algorithm. Boom! It's going to plug in, and it doesn't work in this industry like that.
Right.
And that's the one thing that I've stressed on them constantly when I've talked to them. Like, guys, come sit. There's a chair next to me at my desk, and sit, and I'll spend a week teaching you guys.
Whereas like you're selling hats, it's, you run more marketing, you convert more. You sell jerseys and shirts, you run more marketing or more advertising.
I applied for a job with Fanatics, Mitch. They didn't even call me back.
You're hired by Luca Nation, and you have a non-compete
I
clause.
sent them a resume and everything. Yeah.
I put $1 in your pocket, by the way, so it's consideration.
Yeah, that's right. You got attorney-client privilege.
The hobby's very micro-community driven.
Yes.
I found. It's these like little pockets of communities that are sometimes symbiotic, sometimes they're at war, but then, the enemy of my enemy is your friend, and the friend, it's very much like that.
I mean, again, I've been in business here pushing 22 years, 23 years. And I mean, there's not too many people that don't know me, that I have like a polarizing, but everybody knows me. You might not like me, but you know who I am. You might not like my reputation, but like, oh, I know who Mitch is. Be careful of him. He'll tell you everything.
That's the first thing I say. Be careful with him.
There's a lot. I mean, you put a cord in me, and I can just go for hours on people.
All right, strap up. If you got one of those people out there who works out to this.
Oh, there's a few.
Get on the treadmill. We're going.
No, there's some people. Oh, there's some people that him and I. There's many people in the industry who are. I mean, I would love to sit down and talk conversations with.
You know what bothers me?
Who?
Not who. No one bothers me. What bothers me is a vibe. What bothers me is judgment of how other people collect and how other people do the hobby. Because I think everyone does it different.
Let's weigh in on that though, because part of it, and Mitch, maybe I'm wrong, but I'd love to hear your take. Part of it is we have had a lot of people come in who tell people how to collect, but from this is what you should be doing standpoint. And I can understand somebody like Mitch maybe not liking that because he's been here a long enough time to say that's not it, and people who listen to those people are going to lose, and that's never a good outcome.
No. I mean, again, some of those guys, the investment guys that are on YouTube and they do their videos and everything else, I'm not a really big fan because they haven't been in the industry more than 1 or 2 years. So they've only been at the very hype of this. They haven't been when, like, in 2016, and you had basketball products that were $30.
Yeah.
You could buy all that product because Ben Simmons at the time was the number one pick in the draft. Didn't sign. He signed with Upper Deck. So you had Panini threads and you had all this other product that were literally, you were dumping product at $30 to $50, $60 a box.
And now Ben Simmons' product is worth $12 because it's Ben Simmons. But we don't know. We're just kidding. We understand
but you now have Ingram and Jaylen Brown in that product that are now continue to push it. And again, some of those products have Kobe autographs in it.
Yep. Oh, definitely. I think where Andrew was going with it was this, right? You've seen people come into your store who ask you for a random thing, right? Sealed wax. Maybe it's somebody who collects Ray Allen, or maybe it's somebody who collects, who the hell knows Antoine Jameson? You know what I mean? Like, there are a million different kinds of.
Horton Tucker was popular for a minute.
There's a lot of people who
did collect. You see we did a video for Spectrum TV LA, and they talked about Talon. Yeah, it was really funny. We were like, it was like we did the week after he put up 40 in a preseason game. And they were like, people? I'm like, yeah, people are now coming in, and they interviewed him. He's like, yeah, I don't collect my own cards. I don't even own any of my own cards. And you're like, okay. I'm like, we're trying to reach out to him like, hey, come in. We'll just give you cards. And he just goes like, nah, never mind. Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So I think where Andrew's going is, like, people collect in different ways. And part of what rubs him the wrong way is people telling folks how to collect, people telling people who to listen to, who not to listen to, and that kind of stuff. So,
Andrew, I'm right with you on that. There's so many different ways to collect. I mean, you have a budget. I mean, I'm always under the impression that the best investment for me is always telling people sealed wax. Do your homework, find out which redemptions are not there, and do your due diligence and working on that. And if you believe that, I mean, people ask me, what do I collect? It's sealed wax. But you got to make sure, like 2020 football contenders, Burrow's got a redemption, so you've got till July 22nd, and then you lose because you don't know about if Panini will honor that. I mean, he signed everything, but Panini doesn't have to obligate that after the 22nd.
Right.
So knowing that, like 16-17 limited basketball, to throw out a crazy one, has live Kobe autographs. That product keeps going up because that live Kobe autographs. 17 Chronicles basketball, again, terrible product. Kobe's got live autographs in it.
It got me thinking. So obviously you're plugged in. Like you know things. You know these data points, like you just said, Burrow signed everything. In an age where information's so readily available, like I'm thinking those are they called Manta cards? How do you manga
Manga.
cards.
Mm-hmm.
Manja
You don't know how
Python.
much are out there, right? Like you
No.
might but you don't really know. And do you, like, as a buyer, I would love to know if Joe Burrow did sign all of his redemptions. I would love to know if I could redeem them, yes or no, up until a certain date. I would love to know how many base are ever printed. I would love to know. I think more transparency and information like that would be good for the hobby. But you
Would be
got to see
terrific.
both.
Would be terrific for the hobby. They'll never give you that number. It's to find out like to numbers of how much product was made. It'll be like A plus B plus C, plus D, and E. They won't give you equals F. But there's one number you won't figure out. I've been trying to figure this out for years, and it just doesn't.
What I mean, Mitch, you used to be able to get a
That's our business
ballpark
model.
of it, right?
What is it? Step 1, business plan. Step 2, steel
That's
underpants.
the underwear gnomes. Steel underpants. Step
South Park
3 is
reference.
profit, right?
Whenever I come to Cage with a business idea, I'm like, this is going to work. This is awesome. Let's try this. He's like,
What's
step
step
1,
2?
steel underpants. Step 2, make profit.
Yeah, step 3. We just don't have the step 2. No, but Mitch, it wasn't always like, I remember Topps used to put pack odds, and you could figure out how much product was being done based on the pack odds.
There's always still one thing you won't get. There might be a gold, or there might be a platinum, or a orange that they didn't put in the pack odds that you won't. But you can get close. You can get close. You just can't get to that.
Is that
because
because they're afraid of sticker shock? They don't want people knowing how many Zions are really out
pretty
there?
much. That's one thing is they'll never like. I've been trying to figure out like cup odds because I'm a giant hockey guy. With cup odds, you just can't figure out like how many cases of cup there are in a 3-box and a 6-box case because there's different odds on each one of them, and you'll spend hours and hours sitting on a chalkboard drawing up stuff, and it will never come up.
So when Fanatics came in, this is what we've heard. We heard some LCSs are worried because they're going to go direct to consumer. Distributors are worried, but big breakers are excited. I don't understand the value of distributors at all in this space. They make no sense to me. I've said that a few times. I'm curious your take because you kind of have your hand in all 3 of those, or maybe 2.
Absolutely. Distributors are a must.
Distributors
are a must. Okay. Every single store, every breaker, everybody can sell high-end stuff. If flawless NT, immaculate, impeccable, noir, everything. It's easy to sell. Whatever you're allocated, you can sell. You can't.
And
sell
that's in a recession, a bull market, a flat market, doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. You're always going to be able to move most of that product at least 120%, 120% over, at least 20% over, maybe 50. NT's going higher than that. Prism football's even going higher than that. It's always the higher end products are going to go. The problem is that mid range, Donruss, Topps, Inception, Obsidian, all those products are really tough to Heritage, Gypsy Queen. Like my allocation for Heritage is like 37 cases, 38 cases of product. And if I don't have a way to move that as a store, but I'd still just do distribution to stores that I help out and breakers, I have to be able to move some of that product. And again, it's going to sit in Topps warehouse, Panini's warehouse, and they're like, okay. And years ago, they used to do package deals. They still do them. Like, listen, if you take 5 cases of Gypsy Queen, we'll give you 2 more cases of Dynasty. And the distributor goes, okay, we'll take those. You make your money on the Dynasty, and you just kind of break even on the Gypsy Queen. But if you don't take it, it kind of will disrupt everything at that point. So distributors are a must. It keeps everybody also localized. I mean, I think what Fanatics' idea is going to be getting rid of the distributor, getting rid of Rumors they're getting rid of a couple. Topps is getting rid of a couple more. I mean, go back to the Upper Deck. If you guys remember, 2009, Upper Deck tried to get rid of Richard McWilliams. May rest in peace. He tried to get rid of all distributors. He hated that markup, that anywhere between 5 and 12% markup. He couldn't figure out how to get rid of that markup. So he was going to cut distributors, open his own stores, and go direct to everybody. That was his model. He opened one store in Huntington Beach. Was only supposed to give that 1 or 2 cases, but at that time I lived in Long Beach. It was like 5 miles away, so I used to drive down once a week and check out their store. So I knew exactly what they were doing.
This is Upper Deck branded, right?
Oh yeah. And so I knew they were getting extra cases and stuff to try to make more money on it. But Richard really didn't like that distributor, and it bit him in the ass. He just couldn't. They couldn't move enough product. You can't move that mid end product. At that time, you couldn't, and it just failed.
It's a salesperson for commission, is what a distributor is. Instead of paying them a salary and benefits, they get commission. So then you need someone hustling those mid and lower tier.
I mean, another one was 2016 Topps Finest Baseball. Again, they didn't like the distributors what the distributors put their numbers in, and they said, you know what, guys, screw you guys. We're only going to go direct. So they took all the product back. They tried to put it online, and they gave it to the top 10 stores in the country. And they gave everybody like 3 or 4 cases, and they sat on 5 or 6 pallets of 16 Finest Baseball. And then they went, we can't move the stuff. They called the 7 distributors and said, okay, guys, everybody gets 300 cases, 400 cases, and that's how they moved all of it. But you have to have that in between to take the brunt of the products.
You know, when the froth starts to come off of the boil here, you know, and the pot starts to kind of simmer down a little bit, those distributors and the role that they play, it becomes all the more important.
Make sure to take that froth off. My mom has this little thing to take it off.
You know, I mean, the market is frothy. You know, it's one of those things, man. and when it's frothy, everybody thinks, I'll just sell to Joe Blow on the corner, you know, because you could just put it online and everybody will take anything. Look what happened. People were shooting each other in Target for this stuff, for crap. You know what I mean?
For the retail products, absolutely.
So when that happens, of course, it sounds like a great idea because every product is a huge markup, and the people who are making the product are fearful that they're losing that markup. But guess what? When it calms a little bit, you need somebody bundling your home and auto like Flo.
You know what Cage, you and Mitch, you guys do a great job of towing the line of hobby and business, right? I think some people are either too much of like, this is a hobby, stop making it about money. Business is about money, and people are happier when they make money. And other people are like, all money, all money, all money. But those people quickly leave. And I think what makes you guys really special is you understand the value of making money, and that keeps you going, but you also love this space.
No, 100%. I mean, I get asked all the time about money, and one person I'll bring up, Jared Blez, is a friend, and he one day said, he's like, Mitch, you and I are exactly alike. And I'm like, no, you're driven by money, and I'm not. He's like, really? I'm like, yeah, I'd much rather sit down and teach 6-year-old kids how to collect cards and penny sleeve and top load stuff and have fun with them, favorite player, favorite team, do statistics with them, teach them what the business is, teach them how to collect cards, put it in set order. I mean, set building. Do you remember when that used to be a thing?
Yeah.
I mean, that's it's all, I mean, and yes, the business, I make money. There's no question I do. And at the end of the day, I have my house and I have my car that I love my car dearly. And I get to go to Vegas and still work in Vegas.
Is it a Corvette? I see you as a Corvette guy.
Porsche.
Wow. Nice investment.
And a real, not a Cayenne, like a real.
Bro name is.
No. I have the little one. I have the McCann. I have the little McCann one. We do a trip. You guys, I will. The next time we go to Vegas, I will invite you out. We have a shop owner Vegas trip that we do every few months.
One of the most popular posts we've done is, National should be in Vegas every year. Give us a hands up if people agree.
Oh, you're going to put me in trouble on this one. Do you know why?
National Atlantic City. That's
do you know why the National is in Atlantic City?
I can't think of anything funny on the top of my head.
Because they don't pay for the building.
They don't pay for building. For space, you mean?
Mm-hmm. Tourists pay for it. The tourist commissions.
Wow.
So NCSS or NCCS or however, they don't have to rent the space. So everything is profit. But that's so short-sighted because I think you could attract way more people, and long-term they would have a much better experience, and you'd have a bigger venue and more opportunity and more business in Vegas. It's just set up. AC is such a dump.
In a word,
I love it. Oh, that's amazing. Good for you.
Even Chicago wasn't bad because it was kind of all at least localized, and it wasn't glamorous, but like, okay, everyone's at that steakhouse. If you want to go make business deals,
Gibson's is amazing.
Yeah,
everyone's right there.
Just everybody's there.
Right, you go to Gibson's or you go to Shaw's. Shaw's is the best seafood in Chicago. That's the other place you have to go.
I only ate free bomb pops from the Whatnot ice cream truck. That was all I ate the entire time I was there, and I don't care about it. I was trying to win a Michael Jordan rookie. No, so listen, man. I mean, I have to just before we jump into the next topic. I know Andrew's got a whole list. What you said, Andrew, makes sense, right? What you said about Mitch and myself, but I do want to say this, right? It's great that money is made, right? I think both sides of that coin are fine. I honestly, I think that we need both, right? It's okay to have people out there who are driven by money as long as they're also providing fun for other people. You know what I mean? Whether it's breakers and providing the product for them, the whole deal. Like, I consider myself somebody who is having fun with this, but I'm also having more fun when I'm making money than losing money. I mean, I want to be as honest as I can, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's less fun to lose. I opened Ian's birthday yesterday. I opened a box of Crown Royal. You know, it was like $400 for this box. It's one pack. And I got a Glen Rice auto sticker.
One of my mentors, who's
I hated that. I wasn't having fun there. Yeah.
No. Who?
Ed Milet. He's a baseball card collector. Grew up. He came out with a book this week, which I'm doing a giveaway. It's a personal development book for my community. We have 5. He says winning is more fun than fun is fun. So I always wanted to give him that quote. So,
yeah, I mean, when we do breaks, I mean, I bash names on purpose. If you ever come on I have nicknames for everybody. I just have a blast doing it. And I just
what's your favorite product to break?
Cup hockey. Not even a thought.
Nice. I'm gonna let my daughter do a break. Andrew, you know, she's in our Discord because she's the artist for our NFT. So she gets alerts. And today she got an alert while we were in the car taking to the dentist. And she says, oh, Andrew's going to be on live on Whatnot at 6:30. Guys, come on in if you're interested in Tatis and Tatum cards. And I'm like, okay, she's got to do a break.
Oh, my God. I mean,
Tatis and Tatum.
When I do like soccer cards, I'll just like, yep, nope, I don't know who that is.
Barca?
Yep, I'm not even going on that name.
Mitch, when did you get into breaking? Was that from 2000, right as you opened the store?
No. Okay, so this is a little known fact. I started breaking in 2012 on YouTube. In the store, my friend of mine's like, you got to try this. And we had 1 or 2 customers that would literally, while we're open, we would do breaks. And it was really quiet. It was on Breakers TV.
Breakers TV. I talk about this all at Breakers TV.
And it was you had to download this other thing that we had 2 cameras or 3 cameras on you. And I was running the store and I didn't really have much help at that time. And we got a couple guys who just literally were just trolling us. And I was like, F this, screw you guys, I'm done. And I just like stopped. I got off and just never got back. And then when
it was Blaise, you found out.
It would be really funny if it was. So in 2017, early 17, Ty came in. She's like, I'm gonna do the social media, and she's like, I'm gonna make you the front page of the store. And I'm like, oh no. And she's like, yeah. And when we started doing breaking, then I would literally break every day, all the time. We wouldn't be able to get off if we had less than like 15 people in the room on Instagram. But now we'll end up at like 4:00 in the morning, and there's still 175 people in our room. We just can't keep our eyes open. I've fallen asleep breaking, which I thank God we deleted that video, but I literally fell asleep breaking.
Well,
you guys have the best time zone,
Mitch,
by the way.
Serves you right for breaking hockey. I'd fall asleep too.
Oh wow. Oh,
Cage, you gave an all-time play when we used to give plays, which were like kind of like watch lists. Like people called us Mad Money. he gave Austin Matthews, and he called him the Russell Westbrook of
Young gun Austin Matthews PSA 10. It was like $400.
Yeah, it's now like probably $2,000 now.
This was like one of our content team clip that, which brings me to my next point. So
have you guys just one second with content? Yeah. Have you seen the videos that we do on Instagram?
Yeah, 100%. We follow all your pages.
You saw the Bowmen picture? You saw the Bowmen forklift? That's my new favorite one that we did.
The Bowmen forklift.
Bullpen LA?
Yeah. Go back. 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, when Bowmen 2022 came out.
Is that how much Bowmen you got? You had to bring a forklift to show how much product you got? Oh, my God.
No, wow. You guys post. I mean, you guys do really good content. If you guys don't follow them, Bullpen LA, you have Bullpen Gaming. But I want to talk about this because
that's Ty. Bullpen LA is all tied with the content.
So we talk about cards, but there's also people starting businesses, and I think you have a business acumen, business advice to give them. Right? There's not just hey, buy this card. It's also how to run a good business. So we wanted to do a show. Kind of remember, the guy's name is slipping, but we want to do like a hobby rescue Netflix series. Kind of
John Taffer.
John Taffer. Like a spin-off of Bar Rescue. So 2 things you've done really well that I've heard is, where I'd love for you to talk about this, is staffing, hiring, selling the vision, building a team. And then another thing people are dealing with is inventory and theft and insurance and those worries. Like, I just want to give Vadim some love. If you guys don't follow there was some shit on Long Island, right?
What happened?
There's a few thefts if you go follow Vadim. Yeah. That's what he said. I don't know.
Yeah, bagels and wax, Vadim. Yeah,
I'll have to go look.
Okay. First, staffing. I only hire within. You need to be a customer of ours. We need to kind of like fill you out. At any one of the stores. I only hire within. I mean, it goes back to sports. Everybody has all used the analytics for everything. There's still an eye test.
Hilarious that you say this, because there was a point where we wanted to ramp up and we got a few sponsors, and I was like, let's put up some job postings on Indeed. And Cage says, dude, our best hires have always come from people who've listened to our show.
Hmm? Yeah, it's 100%. And so, I mean, we're talking about hiring more people, and I literally will sit at midnight one night in the next couple of days and sit and go through my mind of who's come in the store, where can we hire. We need to hire 2 more people in the next couple of weeks to help the 4 stores in LA. And so I'll come up with somebody sometime next week. When it comes to inventory,
and it's gut for you, right? It's instinct.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. I mean, the kid who broke last night, Dexter, was a kid who used to come in from, he was like 11. He's now 18. He got a full ride to go to ASU. Kid's amazing. Congrats. Kid used to be really quiet. Didn't usually speak. Now the kid doesn't shut up. And same with my manager, Husto, has been working since he was 12. Such a good kid. And there's not too many things that if you yell out a player in the store, when Husto and I are in the store, if you yell out a player in the last 10 years, we'll usually tell you what college you went to.
Wow.
And you sit with them, mentor them, teach them a little history of the cards.
Absolutely. Same thing with a breaker. If we bring in a new breaker, the first thing, you got to spend a few hours with me on handling cards and how to pass it off. And then you got to work with Harry, because Harry's the one who sleeves and ships everything. You have to deal with Ty, because Ty's going to make sure your PC correct. And if you're not, then she's going to smack you. So it's all. And you guys will have Ty on, I'm assuming.
We have to. I mean, from this episode alone, it sounds like the best business advice you could give to anybody looking to succeed in business is go find Ty.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys want to know how resilient this lady is? She's still a Knicks fan, and not only that, her PFP or her profile picture is a Knicks logo.
Oh yeah. Oh, Knicks are like, she wants. I think we were trying to work on a PC of Knicks getting posterized.
Oh,
every player we can. Yeah. Oh yeah.
You can make a poster just to Patrick Ewing.
She's gonna love that.
Long shot Knicks fans. Maybe Donovan Mitchell goes there. I'm hearing a little rumbling of Gobert and Donovan Mitchell.
I like that.
I think you might be right on that one. But going back, business inventory is really difficult. We get so much because I've been doing this for so long. So I deal with direct accounts and 5 distributors and 2 other subs that I get product from, and work with 4 or 5 other stores that I'm friends with that ask me for help. and a couple other breakers that we have to allocate them out. So like at noon or 11:30 in the morning, we just get UPS in. There's 200 empty cases of stuff that we've opened, and I've got to pick out, okay, this goes, we have 4 boxes of them, 2 boxes of them, a case to them. All right, here's the pricing. And there's pricing on day of release, and then there's pricing for the secondary market, and there's pricing for the next week. So all that stuff has to be done within 48 hours of a product releasing. So like today we had 5 people waiting outside our door of all of our stores and all of our friends coming in, picking up the product and going to their store and going to sell.
It's amazing. It's conveyor belt.
Pretty much. And we keep all the stores that I help out and all the breakers. We have a spreadsheet of all the prices that we carry in our store, all 33,000 boxes. And so most of them only carry 1,000 boxes maybe in their store at all. But they have pricing that we can match. All the stores in the area match those prices. So they can't like play a game like, hey, I just went to Beach City Collectibles and they were at $500 and you're at $450. I'm like, no, we're everybody's at $500. Well, how do you know? Because we help them out. They're friends. So it goes back and forth.
You get to Mexico, there's no Ubers. All the taxis are the same price. Also, that guy gave me $20. You're charging me $30. He's like, no.
Nope.
He pulls out his sheet. He's like, hold up. Where are you going? No. No.
Yep.
$650. No.
But those are things. Those are 2 things. Again, I mean, I'm an open book. I'm always willing to help everybody. I mean, that's what I do. And again, with business
do people
wise,
take you up on that? Like the some do, but
there's a couple stores that come in. Yeah, there's a guy, my buddy AJ. He's it's collectibles and stuff in Gilroy, California, which is the garlic capital of the world. AJ's like 21, and he's opening a store. He came down and met me, and he has no boxes in a store, just packs. I'm like, AJ, we got to fix that. You're friends with me, so you can't do that anymore. So I gave him like $15,000 worth of product to take up to his store, and it fills up his walls. I'm like, pay me in a month, pay me in 60 days. Well, make sure you look like your store.
What Mitch is not telling you is that he gave him all the Dracula and New Moon and Eclipse, all the vampire products he had.
Are you talking about Twilight?
Really well. Twilight.
Twilight
product. I'm trying to think of vampire.
Lost Boys. You're talking about Lost Boys.
Lost Boys. That's it. You go all the Lost Boys wax. It sells real well in Gilroy, the garlic capital of the world. The vampire product. Gotta love it. Mitch, I'm gonna make you smile. Ian, show me that. My son started building something when we started. I don't know if you guys heard clicking. Let me grab that.
Hi, Ian.
Throw it over here. Come here, pal. Bring that over here.
Mitch, you are unbelievable. How did you know that?
Look what he
my God, did. Thor.
He's building Thor's hammer out of Lego.
Oh my God. That's awesome.
All right, I don't want to break it, buddy. You got to keep building. That's pretty sweet. I'm watching him do this. Oh, I almost dropped it. I'm watching him do this while we're doing the episode.
Well, if you drop it, then you're not worthy.
I can't. I'm surprised I was even able to hold it.
What I heard from you, 2-3 hours of training, how to handle cards. By the way, gloves or no gloves when breaking?
No gloves. Absolutely not gloves.
No gloves. I see that a lot, and a lot of people are like, why is he not wearing gloves? Or like, why is Cage's fat fingers
why am I
smudging
greasy
the
fat
card?
hands?
Because you're gonna catch on the glove. You're gonna catch a corner on this part of your hand. Watch them how they break cards. You're gonna catch this corner on every time.
So when you see new breakers, and I'm not going to mention names because honestly, we don't know how people. We only see what we see on camera. But does it frustrate you how some of them go about their business and their rapid ascent?
Yes. Yep. 100%. It will drive me. I mean, I love Mikey at Pull Wax. I started him. So all the Florida guys. I mean, Mikey at Pull Wax.
I've always looked for Mikey's dad. I've never met him, so now it all makes sense.
I see the resemblance.
If you ask Mike, like who's it? He goes, oh, it's Mitch. Mitch is the bullpen. And he comes in our room and just like starts. He's such a good kid. He just needs to calm down a little bit. But he's a great kid.
I never know what he's talking about.
Oh, he's just always going.
I never know what he's doing back there.
I never know what he's doing.
I never knew. Mom, where's the meatloaf?
Meatloaf.
But the thing about Mikey is he's very likable, right? Like you don't really know what's going on, but you're like, I want to root for this guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no. And again, like were you guys at the Mint show?
Yeah.
Did you guys? I didn't leave my booth. People just kept coming up to me and they're like, "Oh my God, it's Mitch. Can we talk?" And I'm like, "Sure." And again, I'm an open book, so I was helping out. Half the people came up to me. I didn't know who they were, but they're a new breaker. They're like, "Hey, can we buy product from you?" Sure. We'll sit and talk. But again, the industry is just amazing.
From you, Mitch. I mean,
you walked by the booth. You looked in our display case because I brought 6,000 boxes.
I did.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Did I buy it? I don't know if I bought anything.
No, you just looked at the case and like, how much is that? And you're like, oh shit, I want that. Oh.
Mitch, I'm sure you've seen this. So I lived in Mexico for a year and a half, but before that, I bought a ton of cars. I had Kobe rookies. I had Zion base. That was my first. But I sent them all either to a friend or to a vault, and then I was in Mexico. So to me, digital collectibles just make sense. Even if you think about it now, PWCC, I go and I look at my vault and I'm like, oh, look at all the cards I have. Oh, list it. I'll list it on the marketplace. Sells in 3 days. Get the money. It's a digital collectible. I never even held the card. NFTs, Panini Direct, all that stuff. Where do you sit with it? Where do you think about it?
I'm an old school collector. I want it in my hands. I'm just like always holding cards in my hands.
He likes to hold it in his hands, the power of Thor. So what, Mitch, the funny part about it is, I would, just in knowing you now for 45 minutes, I would assume you are more of an and guy than an or. And I will tell you this. I would probably have said the same thing a year ago. And I'm sort of still leaning that way. I love the tangible. I love the stuff in my hands. I own a Mantle 5 I've never touched because it's in a vault. I bought it. I could sell it. I'll never see it. It's almost digital in of itself. But the one thing Andrew talked about before is knowing how many things are out there. I don't give Panini Digital a lot of credit, but every digital card has a number, even the base. Right? So you know what the product universe is. You know what the story. And if you want a Panini Silver Prism, it's out of 149. There's only 149 of them. That doesn't mean digital beats physical. I would love for them to bring that over to physical and make every card number would be probably kind of cool. But if it's not going to happen that way, digital does, I think, have that kind of going for it. Just, and people are breaking it now.
For me, I'm still that old school kind of guy. I mean, boxes are still called wax boxes.
Yep.
It's like, how much, what kind of wax do you have for sale? And everybody's like, what's wax? I'm like, wax boxes, guys, come on. I mean,
that's right. It's right.
So fractional doesn't make much sense to you either, right?
I completely understand it. If I was gonna buy something for me, I'm not really an investor type person when it comes to the fractional, to NFTs. Again, I still would want stuff in my cards. The digital aspect of it, I'm podcast still. I mean, these are like, wow, you guys are across the country. Wow, this is crazy. Still in that kind of crazy.
And think about it. I mean, how many customers you get in a day? Maybe your business is best in class, 1,000 customers a day, right? Okay, but
from online, so yeah.
But now we can reach with just something virtual like this. You can reach thousands and thousands of people where you get your voice, and now we teach people, educate them, show them the right way to not to do the hobby, but you guys know what I mean.
Yeah. I think it would be for me. It would be great. I mean, I'm at my heart's is still an educator. I still love teaching and kids. Again, I'd much rather have a couple kids in the store teaching them how to collect much better than guys who are spending thousands and thousands of dollars. Granted, will help my pocketbook.
You know why I love this, man? You know why I love this, and I love you. Andrew asked about digital, right? And it's something that could be polarizing. And it's something that a different person on the show who's got 35 years in the hobby, stores, physical, wax, collects wax boxes, could have answered it a very different way. You answered it by saying, basically, it's not my thing. Right? But you didn't go the step further and say, that's stupid. If you collect that, you're going to lose money. I wouldn't do that if I were you. You just said that's not the way that I choose to navigate the space. If it's the way you want to navigate it, great. It could be 10% of your portfolio. It could be whatever the heck it is. Mm-hmm. I think I don't know whether you intentionally did it, and I apologize for shining a spotlight on it. I think we need a little more of that in the hobby because, look, you're going to make your money. You're going to have your fun. You're going to collect and own what you want to collect and own. And there are other people out there who are going to collect and own what they want to collect and own. And, you didn't shit on it. which is great. You didn't say, "Oh yeah, let's go. Digital's the way to go. I'm dumping millions in it." But you also didn't say, "Screw the people who like that stuff." And I appreciate that.
Yeah, no, it's again. I mean, for me, it's not what I would do. But again, you never know. In 6 months, Ty and Husto and my group could talk me into it and go, Mitch, I really think we should jump in this. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do a deep dive for a few days and see if it's something. For right now, it's not what I would be doing. I enjoy what I get to do here. But if it can work for people, hey, awesome.
Mitch, we didn't talk about grading yet, right? But I don't want
just
to
real quick. I want to add
that.
The reason that matters to me, because the reason I asked that is we see people going. We think of it this way: oh, I collect cards and I go digital. But what we don't realize is people made a lot of money in digital. And maybe because I believe life is recruiting, right? You recruit people to your cause, to your business, to your interests, to your family. Everything's recruiting. But why don't we recruit collectors over there to our hobby, right? We think we're losing collectors, where in reality, we're only losing them if we're like, they suck. Versus, hey, you collect. Come take a look at what we're building over here with tangible collectors.
We're still family. It's still
it's your crazy
together.
Cousin. It's the weird cousin who's into tech stuff. But he still could be helpful every now and again, and you want him to buy your stuff. You know, you want him involved. I get it, and it's right. You're 100% right. I
agree, though. Cage, grading is exactly where I want to go. So ask away.
Okay. So I'm just gonna say something, and I want everybody who's watching on YouTube to check Mitch's face right when I say this, and then you can ask whatever questions you have on grading.
Sure, shoot.
So we were waiting on one modern submission from PSA from December of 2020.
Yes,
and one from January. Okay. We don't have the cards yet, but our grades hit. All right. So the 100, and I'm going to say, obviously, there are a lot of cards in there that are not completely shiny, right? Because it's modern, right?
Okay.
You know, there's some Marvel cards that I opened a sealed box of Marvel. I opened like 8 of them and put in my best ones, right? My best ones, my most central ones. So there's a lot of that in there. But I want to guess from you, Mitch. In my December 2020 sub that I waited 18 months to get my grades back, 150 cards. How many 10s do you think were in that?
This is a guy who's graded thousands of cards in his life.
Leading up, my average is about 82% Gem 10 on my prior grades.
Okay, so you're 150.
150. How many? Give me a number of cards of 150 that were 10s.
60%. Say 90.
7
PSA
10s and 150 card sub. Then my January sub was 176 cards. You know how many were 10s?
I'll say 70%.
5. So in a 326 card total sub, I got 12 PSA.
And they're not PMGs, not crazy.
No, a ton of like 2017 Prism basketball, 2016, hoops. Like
7 Jamal Murray optics.
Jamal Murray optics that came out of packs in a break. No 10s.
So basically, you got F'd in the A.
How does that happen? What the hell happened?
No South Park reference on that one.
Yeah, I got F in the A. You got F in the A.
Yeah, that's really disappointing.
What the fuck am I supposed to do with all that shit? Hey guys, come see me at the National. I got 326 PSA 7s for you.
That's awful. I really have nothing.
My condolences. Mitch is
pretty much.
Oh my god!
Because we're a PSA drop off point. We dropped out. We don't ship PSA. We drop off and pick up twice a week. So we literally we walk over and here's your cards.
My issue is I don't want a lenient grader and I don't want a tough grader.
I want the right grader.
Consistency. I just want consistency.
Same thing with an umpire.
Expect.
I mean, I guess I shouldn't have wrote "fuck you" PSA in the sub when I sent it in, or I don't know what I must have done. Jeez, talk about kick. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna Rochambeau you for it. I'll kick you in the nuts, and then you kick me in the nuts.
I get to go first.
Love it. Yes.
But with the PSA stuff, they've hired so many new graders, and I will try to. Let's see. Let me do the company line for you, and then I'll be the real one. The company lines is we've expanded over 3 times the size in the last year and a half. that we've hired so many new graders that some of the gradings have gone through and some passed on grades.
They're climbing.
They're
climbing the ladder.
Some of these have had problems with getting in damage, and we just didn't catch it. But the real answer probably is that they hired a new grader who didn't understand what a 3x4 card looks like. And that's it happens. We've got some stuff back ourselves that we'll get like a 5 and we can't figure out why. And we'll spend a half an hour. Ty's got a great eye, so does Houston, so do I, on what card, and we can't find it. But it's really disappointing that you got that out of 180 you got 7.
5. 150 got 7. 176 got 5. 12 total in 326.
That's really disappointing. Again, if it's all PMGs and it's all crazy thin cards, then
I mean, they're not. They're like cardboard stock, most of them. It's not even ultra modern. It's modern, It's like 2015, 2016, 2017.
That's really disappointing.
Something I think, like, a lot of people don't know, like, the reason universities were created was a lot of because of Henry Ford, right? He needed to train, and our society needed to train skilled workers. I'm surprised an industry that's growing like this doesn't have like satellite training, grading all over the world, where in Europe you have a satellite center, in Asia, in America, you have these like schools where you go and learn how to be graded.
I think PSA now has an office in New Jersey. They're opening them there. Beckett, and this goes back 2 years ago when Jeremy Murray was the head of Beckett grading. Right when the COVID happened, they have like 8 master graders.
Yep.
And I'm like, you have 5 Division I universities in Texas. Go do a job fair. And first thing, do you have 20/20 vision or better? And do you collect cards? And if the yes is the first answer and no is the second, is perfect. Then you get a second interview. And look.
Baseball players would love this, right? You don't want to go into Wall Street. You want to do what you do. You have a huge attention to detail. You have a good eye, assuming.
And PSA graders at PSA are told, everyone's told to stay away from the graders. Don't put them in a bad mood. Don't let them, they have their own room. Literally, I'm not joking. They can wear whatever they want.
In a bad mood.
Yeah. They put me in a bad mood. What the hell?
So what I'm getting is we're blaming Rob Pelinka and the Lakers for bringing Westbrook over because he's put that entire PSA community in a bad mood. LA's been in a bad mood.
Yes.
All right, fair. You're hired tomorrow to be head of Beckett. What's your first move?
First move is go literally retrain every grader. sit down and take apart the grading system and fire anybody who still writes the magazine and start the magazine over again with actually content that people care about.
Content, better grading. Do you like subgrades?
I do. It allows me to look at a card first. What I'm looking for a bad grade. But I think the grading system needs to be updated. I mean, PSA got so backed up because they didn't do anything with AI, and now all these new companies are coming in with AI. There's that new company Tag. There's another one that a couple guys have brought stuff to me, and I've looked at stuff, and I'm kind of like, okay, I mean, I get what you're doing, but again, at the end of the day, it's still going to be PSA Beckett and SGC.
You really are an AND guy. I haven't actually connected with the Rare Edition guys or girls. But
they're good. They're good people.
I kind of like what Rare is doing. I mean, the slabs look really cool.
Yep, they're in Los Angeles. They're not far from us.
Nice.
Tag's office is like literally 10 minutes south of us. They've come in the store a couple times. There's a new guy coming in that's really bright. Brian's going to announce it sometime next month or so. He'll be able to talk about it a little bit more.
Influencers, do they piss you off?
Your buddy Gary, are we talking about?
Anyone?
Steve Aoki.
I'm not. I mean,
that's the two of them.
So when Coffee and Cards came in, they went to a couple other stores and they didn't come to me for asking for product. And I would have helped them if they would have came in and asked and said, Mitch, we're opening a store in Hollywood. Could you help us out? They didn't. They went to other stores, and so they learned how to get retail products, not hobby products. And then one of their guys, Dan, came in, and Dan did a podcast about being a Magic champion. And I'm sure you've talked to Miles,
Miles
LAFC Gooner.
is a Magic champion.
Miles is really smart. Magic, he's great. I love him dearly. He's one of my favorite people to hang out with. And we listened to this podcast, and he talked about that he won a Magic championship. I've played Magic for years. To win a Magic championship is truly impossible. And so I talked to him about it, and Dan just went in a corner. And I don't get along with him. Be honest. I mean, he the numbers that he says he does. If you're bolstering the numbers you do at your store, you're probably not doing.
I have to be honest, Mitch. At this point in the conversation, I think it might be cooler to not have won a Magic tournament. No offense.
Miles is your bestie, dude.
I love
Why are
Miles.
you gonna do him like that?
Miles is awesome.
I went to school when it was like the Dungeons and Dragons kids were the ones you stayed away from, and here we are. He said he won Magic. He never won Magic. You're like, okay, that's a good thing.
Magic's is just a great game though, but I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm just giving you shit.
You're allowed to.
I'm giving
Mitch,
you
you know Gary fired me.
Yeah, I know.
So I'm a little. I don't even know anymore.
Well, my thing with Gary is if he says something on his podcast, he already bought it 6 months ago.
Possible.
Maybe 2 months ago. When he talked about the Kevin Garnett, Luka stuff that he bought when the first National. Remember, 2 months ago he was at the National buying up all those cards, and then he has a podcast and like that you should be buying those cards. And you're like, wait, you already bought them. You're driving the market. He's a minute. I mean, for me, he's a manipulator, not an influencer. But he's done a great job. I give him all the credit. He has made money on it. So all props to him for making money. But I mean, for me, like when he came out and said that baseball cards and sports, I was way ahead of him for years on sports cards. So
it's
I mean,
funny.
it was already.
I haven't been great at spotting manipulators in the hobby, but in like NFTs, remember people were like, ETH is going to 10,000. There was this guy, Ralph Paul. Now I look back, I'm like, I'm such a doofus. The things that they're telling me to buy, they already own.
Uh-huh.
So it's that pyramid, and I'm coming in on top of them. Remember your pyramid, Cage?
Yeah.
Cage's pyramid of trust.
Yeah, my pyramid, man. The hobby's a pyramid, not a pyramid scheme, guys. But we got to keep refreshing that bottom layer, otherwise you can't move up that pyramid. Your collection can't move up that pyramid. You can't color up. And we're basically we're in a weird spot now where the people on top of the pyramid think it's their job to shit on the bottom of the pyramid and hope that they're just going to stay.
Yeah, no. And again, I'm not shitting on anybody. I'm just telling the truth. And honestly, that's all I just want. My biggest thing these days is holding everyone accountable.
I love that, Mitch. What I meant by that really is the people who are sitting above saying the way you're collecting is stupid. And
I'm right with you. I'm right with you. No, the people come out and say these things, and you're like, that's not true. And then you're like, oh, I never said that.
Yeah.
But no, this hobby is amazing, and I love that we can sit down and talk for over an hour and just continue to do this. I mean, honestly, could we do this all night long? Of course.
Yes. Yeah. I haven't done any movie lines yet. Like I have a whole cachet of.
How would you hold people accountable, right? So 2 ways. I said this, and I stand by this. I think breakers should be regulated like blackjack dealers. Like I think you should have to get a license. Regulation. We hear that word. I think you should have to get a license. It doesn't have to be crazy. It could be like a 3-week course, or you could get your real estate license 2 weekends, and then you pass the test and you're good.
Well, Whatnot has rules and regulations that you can't razz, and you can't release product early. Both those they allow. Both they don't regulate too much.
Right. So you talk about, but overall regulation, not an internal regulation. That's almost like NCAA violates something and don't worry about it. A school, a college violates a rule. It's like, oh, we're self punishing. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
Nick Saban is in charge of the.
My daughter does something wrong. That's like, oh, I feel bad about doing it. That's punishment enough. No, you can't regulate yourself. Like it doesn't really work.
But no,
The licensing
I'm right
idea
with
is
you.
interesting, man, because I mean, someone would say like, you need a license to drive a car, you need a license to fish.
Parenthood.
Wow, I didn't even do the whole line. Holy shit! He pulled the Keanu Reeves line out of Parenthood. Nice. Wow, Mitch.
Keanu Reeves was in Parenthood?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, dude.
I thought there was just the two
Wow, I
the
didn't even
two
get up to the
redhead
any
girls.
buck
No, wasn't
leaving
Steve
asshole.
Martin?
Steve Martin to be a
Come on.
father. He was talking about
Yeah.
not, his dad being shitty, and you don't need a license to be his dad.
It doesn't
Wow.
you need a license to catch a
You need a
fish. You need a license to
catch a
own a
fish.
dog.
Yeah. Any butt gleaming
What are you talking
asshole
about?
can be a dad. Mrs.
My
Buckman.
first cast ever, I
Wow.
caught a huge fish, actually.
Holy cow, that was nice, Mitch. Hold that
Thank
one
you.
down.
Has card porn ever wandered into your office? He lives there by you.
No, he hasn't. He's spoken with Ty, but never me.
What do you think of that regulation? Because I think he
I
does a
love
good
it.
job. You like it.
I would love to see regulation because again, it's holding people accountable. Learn how to break. I mean, again, I'll teach classes on how to break. Be more than happy for someone to come in and like get in a room. I'll teach people how to break and how to do content and be entertaining. That's one thing I talk about. I mean, you've got to be entertaining. If we're a higher price than some, it's because we entertain people. I mean, I can do movie trivia for decades.
I believe it.
Like
Cage's
my
mind
manager
is blown
behind
right
me
now.
him and I can do Wedding Crashers verbatim for the entire movie.
Andrew's seen that one.
I love Wedding Crashers.
You've seen that
All
one.
the best movies I've seen. I have a feeling. You know what's old is new and what's new is old. I think movie theaters can make a comeback because I think if we all look back, the best movies we've seen are at movie theaters.
Of course.
Wedding Crashers and Dark Knight were the two of my favorite like modern movies. Both I saw in theaters, and they it's something different. You know, you're not on your fucking phone the whole time.
Top Gun is amazing. Just to let you know.
Oh, I didn't see that.
The new one.
Let's see that.
It's exactly what it's supposed to be. Fun, catchy lines, really good action, loud. Really good.
Slider, you stink. Slider, you stink. Good stuff,
Mitch,
man.
you have an
Goose.
uncanny ability of you're very opinionated, but you don't burden with your opinions. Like I think people are going to leave this episode. They're going to be like, I have a lot to think about, but it's not like oh, this guy is telling me how to think. I love how you deliver your messages. I love how it's. This might not be for me. But this is how I see it. But it leaves space for other people to kind of draw their own conclusions, think for themselves, and I think that's what makes you a great teacher, actually.
Thanks, guys. I mean, I'm just who I am. I mean, that's all I want to do is just hang out.
So Soho next week.
Talk about the opening.
Yeah.
Talk about
Soho's next
publicize
week.
yet.
As long as we get everything there, which we should be there, hopefully Monday, and I'll be out there probably Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Literally, I will stay the night in the store on the couch to make sure everything gets done, built.
Wow, good for you.
Yeah.
When is it
Soho's
actually
the
open
best.
to the public?
Should be that Saturday. Hopefully next Saturday. That's the goal.
Well, you message me when you're there. Maybe I'll stop by.
Yeah,
help you
I should.
build in a suit.
There'll be some fun people there.
I can
The
swing a
Demon should
hammer.
be there.
All
The
right.
Demon will be there. George will be there, of course.
Cool. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
And you want to? I mean, is it a secret?
No.
Are you gonna talk about maybe some of the other locations? You talk about 6, 7, 8, kind of a secret, top secret. You don't want to give anybody a head start on where you might be. It's okay.
The next one, one of my best friends owns a minor league baseball team, and
Nice. That's
so in northern Colorado, he is building a facility for his team. There is 2 hotels. There is 8 little league fields. There's a softball field, and there right behind home plate there will be a bullpen, Colorado.
Wow. In the stadium.
That's cool.
That's pretty
That's
cool.
cool.
So again, I don't know how often I'll be there, but it's a single A ball baseball team. Just
How is there not a bullpen at the Arizona Diamondback Stadium?
Arizona is a thought. I have a really cool idea for Arizona that I can't let because somebody will jump on the
Someone steal
idea
it.
before.
But don't you think every stadium should have a sports card store inside?
Chris Costa in New England.
Yep.
He's got one in he has one in
Denver.
Foxborough. He has one with the Bruins and the TD Garden, and He has one at the Boston. There's one more
Fenway?
stadium he's got. Yeah, Fenway.
Wow.
Yeah. Chris Coast
That's
is amazing. Yeah, he's
Good
got
for
3
him.
stores
He
there.
had him on. He was that. I mean, also another hobby positive.
Yeah,
great stuff.
Chris is great.
But what's cool about it, man, and Mitch, even just to the end here. I'll get back to hockey in Colorado in a second because Andrew predicted that the Avalanche were going to win the cup this year before
They're
the
not
playoffs
going
even
to.
started.
Tampa's winning it.
I mean, is Tampa going to get by the Rangers?
Yeah, please.
Tampa's
You have the best-
resting.
You have the best.
Rangers-
You have the best defenseman in hockey in Victor Hedman, and you have the best goalie in Andrei Vasilevsky.
No, Shesterkin's got something to say about that, man. He had a better year this year. He definitely did. Check the numbers. His better year.
No,
Overall,
yes, better year.
sure, but he had a better year.
Game 7s, championship games.
Yeah.
One
you're
goal
right.
in 7 games.
You're right. Well, is it going to go to 7 games?
No,
Anything
it's
can
going to go to
happen in
6.
7. All right.
It's going to go to 6.
I mean, you got a lot of faith in that Tampa team. They came out real sluggish after taking that much time off in game 1. We'll
and
see.
they're getting their best player back, or maybe their third best player.
This is true. I just think the Avalanche are just the cream.
They don't have a goalie.
You want Avalanche's cream?
I don't think Tampa really. I mean, look, they're going to get him back, but I don't think they have. I think the Avalanche defense can deal with them. They don't have a huge, top line. We'll see. We'll see. The Rangers. I mean, part of it is the Avalanche are going to be really rested. They already slept them. They're going to.
You don't want to be rested like that. You don't want to be rested.
I know, and that's part of what the game 1 would happen.
That's
with
one of the
Tampa Bay.
problems.
It's interesting. It's fun to watch. I want the Avs to win, not because I give a shit, but because Andrew predicted it, and that would make some great content. He actually
what
said
really
this.
happened is Cage asked me for my NHL predictions, and I said I don't like to predict for prediction's sake, just in general, and I don't like to predict and change it on the fly either. Like I made my predictions, it was the Bucks and the Suns. I was wrong about both. I live with it, and then I come back next year. I don't like that.
Then I asked him about NHL. He said I'm not making a prediction, and I went on to predict everything, including the Avalanche winning the Stanley Cup. Some sweeps and some early rounds. Just everything was right. And I said, Andrew got this right. Andrew got this right. He got it all right. And in the middle of it, he says, I don't know any of these teams or any of these players. Like he finally got he's like, I don't know any of this. It was really
my
fun.
love language is words of affirmation.
What's funny,
so
dude?
I'm lucky
you're
to
winning
have him as a friend, as a business partner.
Let me tell you,
you got him in the finals.
You got him in the finals, Mitch. The best part of the last 5 minutes, not any of this hockey crap, because nobody watches hockey, Boomer. That's what they say on WFAM to Boomer. Craig Carton used to say that to him. But here's the fun part. You talked about Costa Cards. You've talked about so many other people in this business who do something that you do, who are in a similar spot, who might be considered, quote unquote, competition by a lesser individual. Costa Cards, same way. So many of the people we've had on our show, they do not think that the way to make their light shine brighter is to blow out somebody else's candle. They can succeed and you can succeed. And I believe it or not, I think that is the lesson of today's episode. I think if more people took that and allowed, as Andrew likes to say, the whole pie to grow, right? We're all in this to grow the pie for all of us. There's enough for everybody to eat, right?
There's no I. It's we, us, team. I mean, it's. I mean, for me, I couldn't do it without my team.
Yep.
Ty, Harry, Husto, Billy, couldn't do it without any. Again, like Ty. If I didn't have Ty, I couldn't do any of this stuff. But it's all about us.
Did you find her, or did she find you?
She came. She was a customer in 2016. She buys non-sport stuff and of course Knicks, and so she buys basketball. And I had just gotten an argument with my landlord. She's like, "Are you looking for a partner?" And she's like, I would like to invest some money in. And I was like, and so we came.
She was tired of losing on the Knicks cards. So she found a better bet.
She's gonna come and she's gonna get you. She's gonna come after you. No, but and then so we sat down and we talked, and she's like, I just want to invest. And she really just kind of, she'll tell you that she just invested in me. And she was like, and then she kind of fell in love with the industry again. She's like, this is so much fun. I got to be here every day. And she just started working more and more. And the ideas that I have all these balls in there, I'm like, help. And she puts it in this and goes, that's the idea we're doing. When we did trade nights and trade this, we were the first really guys doing trade nights back in 2018 and 19.
Mitch, it's funny how that works, right? You got all these ideas, but you weren't able to execute any of them until somebody came who could execute. Mm-hmm. This is why I love
genius.
That man sitting right there, because
we'll
talk for an hour, and all I will do is just jump out all of the things that are in my brain, and in the next week, all of them will happen.
Yeah,
that's my executor right
I'd
there.
like to meet this Thai lady.
Thai?
I think I could learn a lot.
Where are you? Come here,
Mitch,
Pillow.
Come say hello. We're going to have her on the show.
Where is she? Where are you?
Hi.
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 You're amazing. So responsive. I think I messaged you like less than a week ago. Hi. And then here we are already interviewing Mitch. You're on the ball. So it's really, really nice to meet you. And I'm a big fan of you both.
Nice to meet you guys. I will maybe be talking to you guys soon.
Yeah,
I have a trivia question for Ty.
Oh no.
Who is the last Nick that was drafted and then re-signed?
Yeah, signed out after their rookie contract. Like the last Nick that they drafted and got signed to a second contract.
It's incredibly ridiculous. This is not that Ty doesn't know her stuff. This is how bad they were at draft.
RJ Barrett might be the next one. That's
well,
why
I think he will be. 100%. I don't know if you guys can hear me.
So you have to think about whether or not a quarterback is the right person to be the point guard on the team.
What?
I'm gonna guess Charlie Ward just because.
Yeah,
Charlie
Ward. It wasn't really right. Charlie Ward.
Charlie Ward was the last one.
Cage and I are on the same page all the time now.
Yeah, I was going back that far. I was like going back year by year by year by year by year.
And they've been pretty bad. So think of all the high draft picks that they've had. You know, I remember one year Walter McCarty was one of 3 first-rounders they had.
University of Kentucky.
This guy can't throw any fastballs by him at all. Well, listen, we're definitely going to have you on, but you should listen to this episode because Mitch here has just sung your praises.
Yep. From my office, but I haven't heard your guys's.
You are the Andrew of this podcast. It sounds like Mitch kind of throws stuff up in the air and you handle it all and execute it, which is exactly what Andrew does.
Hear me have egg on my face where I said, "Wait, Mitch, you're not as expected. Did you invent the Guttenberg press?" That was my opening line. I am a doofus, ladies and gentlemen. You're welcome.
Well, guys, we are 75 in tie. It's great to meet you. We're definitely going to have you on, Mitch. We appreciate your time, brother. And I mean, you know, we're not dead yet, but we're almost dead.
You guys can reach out to me at any time, guys. You guys need anything, I'm always around, guys. Especially if you come to LA or Cage in New York next week.
Yeah, man. Definitely message me. Have fun storming a castle.
Always.
So thank you all for listening to another episode of Lucas, Tigers, and Bronzo My. I wanted to tell you about a new service that we have starting as of today, and I'm really, really excited to bring it to you guys. So as a part of our partnership with SGC, we got 50 free submissions every single month, and many of you have taken advantage of that. And it's amazing that we could have the opportunity to 650 episodes, 675 episodes in, to go ahead and give back to our community. As people were sending those cards in, they asked, can we send 5, 10, 20 more cards to you guys? We'll pay for it, but we wanted them graded with SGC. You guys know SGC is turning cards around in 13 to 14 business days, have incredible customer service, and their secondary market values are going up day after day after day. And that's exciting for the hobby and exciting for the grading landscape. So we didn't want to just rush into it. We wanted to do it right. And what we did was I relocated here to Boca Raton, Florida. I opened up a P.O. box maybe 5 minutes away from SGC, and I will be hand delivering and hand picking up the cards. So you don't have to worry about anyone else touching your cards. It will be me, and I will update you every step of the way. So here's how it's going to work. I'm going to personally pick up the cards from a P.O. box, prep them, new card saver, new penny sleeve, and deliver them to SGC every single Tuesday. Why Tuesday? Well, it lets the stragglers over the weekend come back through on Monday and gives me a day to prep, and it basically gives SGC the entire week to work on grading those cards. Once your cards pop, only then at the end of the process will you be paying for the service. It's $25 per card, simple as that, and the turnaround times have never been faster. We're hearing right now 13, 14, less than 20 business days. So there it is. 9170 Glades Road, number 135 is the P.O. Box in Boca Raton, Florida, 33434. 9170 Glades Road, number 135, Boca Raton, Florida, 33434. Of course, you could shoot me an email or shoot me a text anytime, and I'm always available. Many of you already have my email. It's iamandrewgoldberg@gmail.com. or my cell phone number, 519-9154. Reach out with any questions. I could walk you through the process. I've hopped on the call with quite a few of you, and I'm happy to do that. Love you, Luca Nation.